Okay. Alexia, are you ready?
Yes,
Okay. Please speak directly into the microphone.
I am.
Hey guys, it's Foster from Inglês no Rádio. I am here with...
Alexia.
Hey Alexia, how
Hello.
are you?
I'm fine. What about you?
I'm doing wonderfully. A quick note before we get started. Alexia's name is Alexia. We are receiving a lot of emails, Instagram messages, a lot of things, people saying, Alexa, Alessia. And I know that Alexia is too nice to correct people. So just a public service announcement for my girlfriend, Alexia.
Thank you. Thank you. Because there are a lot of Alexas around the world nowadays. And I think that maybe it's an autocorrection from the phones nowadays. Maybe.
Yeah, sometimes.
But you guys should know my name by now. Alexia. That's
Okay.
it.
Alexia, can I make a quick correction?
Uh-huh.
You could even say this is an auto correction.
Huh?
You said auto.
Yeah. Okay.
So in English, you know this. Most of our listeners probably know this as well because we have mentioned it many, many times here on the show. When we have an A-U combination, the letters A-U, the natural tendency of Portuguese speakers is to say ow, ow. So you are separating these two sounds. You don't need to. Normally in English, we just say aw.
Auto.
Perfect. So for example, in the word auto or audio or launch or taught, there are many examples. I could go on and on, but the point is just one sound, aw.
Ah.
Very similar to the sound in Portuguese, like aw, olha só, right?
Okay.
Cool?
Cool.
Okay, so this week on the show, we are talking about books.
The act of reading.
Or just reading. Yes, reading in general. So, Alexia, I have not told you too much about what I'm doing in my private time on the computer.
And this is so weird.
It would be weird with your dirty mind, but knowing that I am an extreme nerd, I am organizing all of the things that I have read and all of the books that I've listened to. And I am taking my notes, I am exporting them, I'm putting them in a nice little folder so everything is clean and organized so I can always have them there.
I never had the habit of taking notes. Taking notes after reading or during the reading. Never.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. That's interesting because I think I developed this in college. So I studied at a very small private liberal arts university where we had to read a shit ton of books. And the only way that you could retain all of the information is just highlighting, taking notes, because you could not review the entire book. So I think really my note-taking just started from studying in university.
Yeah, I never had that. I always read a lot because I liked it, but I never ever kept notes from anything.
Yeah. So in the past, I would normally just underline things in a physical book or highlight things. And then reviewing for an exam, maybe I would write them.
But you're talking about college books, right?
Yeah, not necessarily textbooks, but things for academic study. Yeah. But then I started doing that for books that I just liked.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, I started doing that with fiction and novels because of our friend Jordan. That I noticed Jordan, he is a writer and a voracious reader. And if you see his books that he reads, each page has hundreds of notes.
That's interesting.
It's I liked the way he used this word. this famous author should have put a comma here. But nowadays, it is much easier to really take advantage of what you are reading with technology, especially with a Kindle or I think most e-readers. Because, for example, with a Kindle, you can highlight a section of a book. So, for example, I'm reading a book and I really like a quote or a phrase or a paragraph or even one word that I do not know. I can highlight that word. It gives me the definition. It gives me synonyms, other uses of that word. And then I can just take all of my highlights from the book and export them to a document. And that's what I'm doing.
Yes, I remember that we talked about it in an older episode about Kindle. And most of people, they didn't know about this. Like what Kindle can do to help you during the reading and use it for like learning languages as well. Because if you don't know a word, you can just press it and it gives you the synonym.
It gives you synonyms, definition, etymology. Yes, I don't know about other e-readers, but at least Kindles, they have a function called Word Wise that you turn it on and it tells you everything about the word.
Yeah, it's awesome. So I just wanted to make this point again because I think it's important for us to always tell people like, okay, you can get this. It's a little bit more expensive than an actual book, but it will help you a lot.
Yeah, and I disagree. It is actually much cheaper most of the time.
What? No, to buy Kindle, the Kindle itself.
Oh, yeah. Well, to buy a Kindle, I don't know about the new, like, super fancy Kindle, but my Kindle was like $70 or something.
I don't know how much is in Brazil.
And then most Kindle books are significantly cheaper than physical books.
Dun, 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 dun,
yes, it is 5:30 here in Portugal on a Sunday. Don't know what that means, but it means church bells are ringing.
It just sounded.
Okay, so something really interesting I noticed in this process, Alexia, is I read a lot of weird shit that I did not recognize. You know?
What do you mean? Like, what's weird shit for you?
Okay, do you just want to hear a quick list of my most recent reads?
Yeah, go ahead.
So just imagine, I was imagining there would be like a consistent theme. Like, okay, I'm just reading business books or I'm just reading science fiction. But just listen to some of my most recent titles. Company of One, a book about running a small business, which we do. My Age of Anxiety, a book about an author that suffers a lot from anxiety. The Second Mountain, a book about the difference between being a boy and a man by a weirdly conservative journalist. I am relatively on the liberal side of things, but this journalist spoke at my university one time. The End of Jobs and the Future of Work. Bird by Bird. Outer Order. Inner Calm. Okay, let's keep going. Maybe you should talk to one. Maybe you should talk to someone. Thirst, a book about a nonprofit organization trying to save the water crisis. The Storytelling Animal. Vagabonding. The Awkward Thoughts of Comedian W. Kamau Bell. Comedy Sex God. I Will Teach You to Be Rich. The Story of Human Language.
Okay, so you are all over everything.
Are you noticing a theme?
No.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about, that I'm surprised. I thought there was a theme to what I was reading. No, just all over the place.
But I think that's good. You know, like you look at a book, you are interested and you buy it and you read. You don't have to follow a theme for that.
I was delighted by the fact that I don't like labels. I don't want someone to say, oh, Foster, he's like this. He only reads things like this. And I don't know why I'm kind of against that philosophy. But when I'm looking at all the things that I've read recently, yeah, it's difficult to put a label on that. So, Alexia, what kind of books do you normally like to read?
I love reading novels, that's for sure.
Okay, novels, are we talking about just general fiction, memoirs?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I just love. I think it's because it was so good during the time, and you all know about it right now, but Harry Potter books were amazing for me, every single one. But I don't like this kind of books anymore.
These kinds of books.
These kinds of books anymore.
These kinds of books.
These kinds of books.
There we go.
Just Harry Potter. Anyone who tries to copy or imitate that, I'm like, no, it's not Harry Potter, like, I don't like it.
Okay, we are not going to enter into the Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings debate again on this show, but do you have so you like fiction?
Yeah.
So do you have a more specific category that you feel like you normally are more interested in? For example, I feel like your dad really loves like historical fiction, history in general. Do you have a kind of a category like that?
I don't know, to be honest. I think that the books that grab my attention more, can I say that?
Perfect.
Are the ones who, like, I know there is that's a romance or fiction, but it's not that much out of reality.
Okay. Yeah, I completely understand what you're talking about. Can I make a quick correction?
I got so confused when I was formulating this phrase because I was thinking at the same time, like, what do I want to say now? And how do I pick up my books? So,
yeah, how do I pick out my books?
Pick out my books.
Yeah, pick up your books is just physically picking up your book.
Okay.
The book is on the table. You pick up your book. So a lot of times, Alexia, you say romance, and I know that you know that the correct way to say this is novel. But I also think at the same time, you can say romantic novel, which would be kind of like a novel with a love story. And I think you do like that kind of book as well.
I do. Do you know that book that your mom was reading this year when I was in the United States that I'm dying to read as well? Like, it just got here in Portugal and we saw the cover.
Where the crawdads sing?
Yes.
Or when the crawdads sing?
I have no idea, but that one, the orange book cover.
Yes.
Yeah.
Alexia is a big fan of book covers. Me too.
Wow.
Me too.
It's all about how you sell your product, right? If the book cover is not that good, I won't grab the book. Only if someone is like, no, you should read this. But at the same time, I love studying and reading about branding. So I like what?
I'm just laughing because you say, oh, but it is very important, the cover of the book, and you love branding. And I'm just thinking about, like, what is our iTunes logo when people look at this podcast? We created that in 20 minutes 4 years ago. Maybe Alexia's love for branding should start working into this episode.
Yeah. I won't start this conversation right now, but yeah, I love reading about branding and how the nowadays, like, thinking about customers and the enterprisers, they communicate with each other.
Customers. Okay, again, Alexia, this is the schwa sound. This will be an ongoing theme for the next few weeks, few months, few years. I don't care how long it takes. We're not saying costume, which would be like
Fantasia.
when you dress up in Halloween, fantasia, we are saying customer.
Customer.
Perfect. So for Alexia not to suffer too much, I say that we can call it a day here, and tomorrow we can talk about some more specific book recommendations, what we've read recently, what we think you might enjoy as well.
Perfect.
Sounds good?
Sounds good.
Okay, see you guys tomorrow.
Bye.